Hello and welcome to episode 2 of series 2 of Master League Story Mode. So I hope you all enjoyed the first episode. We had lots of new viewers coming in, so welcome to you all. Really good to have you on board. And I hope you enjoyed the new manager. And to the 9 people who disliked the first video, then all I have to say to you is you're a bunch of sexist pigs and you're not welcome here anyway. Either that or you just didn't like me as a person, and that's fine. And you probably aren't here now. So I'm talking into the void. Anyway, we don't have time for void talking or waffle or anything of that sort because we've got a hell of a lot to do in this episode. We're going to be reaching transfer deadline day. We've got to bounce back from losing our first game of the season. Yeah, Corinne has a lot on her hands in this final week of August. First of all, got to shout out the new Patreon who's come in the last week. Krieg, welcome. Krieg is helping support this channel, hopefully to a point one day where we'll have daily videos. Now let's go and have a look at the negotiations. This is where the magic needs to happen quite rapidly. End of the last episode, we had a lot of bids in for some of our lower players. Now I've been through here and you can renegotiate, but all you can really negotiate, we'll use this guy as an example. So at the moment they're offering 223,000. We could get an extra 10,000, which takes us to 87%. Or an extra 20,000 takes us to 73%. For me, it's not even worth trying to do that. It's pretty much the same for all of these players. Chances are if we try and renegotiate with all of them, even if we're in the 80%, we probably will have at least one of them where the negotiations fail. And for an extra 20k on each of them, it's just not going to be worth it. I'd rather just have them all sold and have the budget ready. We don't need any of these players. So just for the sake of getting the budget, knowing what we're going to be working with, I'm just going to go through and apply the old guillotine. A little bit of French for you there. I know a lot of you enjoyed my French accent from the first episode. I can't quite work out whether you were taking the piss or not. Especially the French amongst you. But, hey, I'll try and pepper in a bit more of that for you. I know you enjoy it throughout this series. So, there we go. Got rid of all of that dead wood. And that leaves us with a not inconsiderable 5.2 million euros. Excellent. And just shy of $1 million salary budget, which is good as well. Let's remind ourselves where we were in terms of other club negotiations. Well, we've got Wellington Nem, the young Brazilian. £1 million loan is a lot, but he will become our strongest attacking player, our strongest attacking threat. And with that speed and explosive power, along with a left foot, which is going to be important, playing out on the left, we like to have that, especially with the big lad in the middle. I think he's going to be a good one. So I'm probably going to go for him, I think. Zagadou is a player I really want to bring in. I think 2.4 million. For what looks to be a very promising 18-year-old who is 195 centimetres tall. I think that's a snip, really. So if we write off the 3.4 for those two, I'm not even going to risk renegotiating with them because Zagadou's on the transfer list. He's got a lot of teams coming in for him, so I expect that if we mess around too much there, they'll just say, no, fine, we'll take Real Oviedo's bid instead. So I think we'll probably just go for those two. So that's 3.4 million. That'll leave us with just under 2 million. Masuema I would really like. We probably need a left back a little bit more importantly, but to have an extra defensive midfield cover means we could bring Douline back into centre back and him alongside Zagadou I think would be a great combo. And then after that we can really just see what we can do with the rest of the money. Unfortunately Gabamin didn't go through and Kurt, I'm not interested in Kurt. I think Zagadou's definitely the right option there, so we'll get rid of him. Okay, so a pretty significant exodus there. 5 players going out, but they weren't players that we need. We've also had a bid in for Suarez as well. Co-author, Scott S, who came in and said, maybe we were a little bit quick to pass over Saavedra, and I think we were. He's only 67 rated, but he's only 20 years old, so we're going to put a bid in for the Chilean. Hopefully we can bring him in. And then a lot of you, I requested, obviously, some help with a bit of scouting. So you guys went away, and you picked out some nice players for me. So I'm going to go through. So first up, we have Caramo, the young Frenchman, who was suggested by scout Daniel Villan. Thank you, Daniel. He would be excellent. Look at him. I mean, for a 19-year-old, he's going to turn into something very special. He's got 78 finishing. I think Corinne will definitely be keeping her eye on him long term. At the moment, he's 8 million market value, 7 million release fee, and also he just doesn't want to sign with us. But still, one to consider long term. Nangis was an option from long-time commenter Kakarot. Like the look of him as well. We do need a left winger, but I think we're going to go for Wellington Nem. Again, one to look at long term. Kalulu, which is a great name, was also another option from Kakarot. He is rapid, but as a striker with only 67 finishing, although he's only 21 years old, it's maybe a little low for me. Another long-time commenter, Knowledge Bridge, came in with Jay Ikone. I like the look of him. 19-year-old prolific winger from Montpellier. You'd question maybe his passing, his lofted passing would be an issue here. Also, he doesn't want to sign with us, and but he would be quite a good value option. Maybe not for now, though. And right down at the bottom here, in from another long-time legend of the comment section, Thomas Crosby, the Corporal. He came in with Mukiel, another Montpellier player, 20-year-old. He's a big lad. He looks like he'd be pretty decent, and he's only valued at €1,000,000, so he's definitely one to consider. I might even put a bid in for him, maybe on transfer deadline day, if we are still looking for a centre-back. So thank you for all of those suggestions. There were others as well that I've had a look at and maybe didn't quite work for us right now. And there's a lot of quality in that list that I'm sure Corinne will be keeping a beady eye on in the future. So let's quickly go and see how much we can get for left-back Suarez. He's our second choice left-back. So we might have Saavedra coming in, and 342,000, that'd be decent. Let's take a look at negotiations. So get an extra 10, it takes it down to 87, another 20 is 73. 73 is too low. 87, it's not even worth the risk for that 10,000. If this doesn't go through and then we can't sell him, that's 342,000 that we didn't get. So yeah, we're going to do that. I think we're going to have a pretty decent budget here. We're selling a lot of players, but I think it was pretty much needed. So just quickly before we go any further, I'm going to do a bit of advanced searching myself. I'll take you through. This will be an insight into my methods. It is nice having the whole of France to deal with because it gives us the chance to really flex the advanced search and make sure we're getting exactly the right people. So obviously the main thing being we can't go over 74 overall rating, so we plug that in straight away. We're also a little bit tight on the old Euros at the moment, so I think we're going to go with a maximum value of 2.5 million euros. I think that's pretty fair. And then if we're going to be getting someone who's going to be under 2.5 million euros, it's probably not going to be that great. So we want someone we can improve. So I'm going to say under 22. Yeah, I think that's a good start. So let's go and see what we get here. There'll be a few at the top. Masuima, who's a player we're already dealing with. Yeah, he's going to be great. I forgot that he's 20 years old. I think that's a really great option. He's a big guy. He's going to improve. He's only going to get better. And I think he could be a real force for us in the middle of the pitch. Diallo, we haven't looked at him. Another decent centre-back option. He's worth 2 million. We'll add him to the list. Tall. He sounds like he'd be the perfect target man, but he's actually not that tall at all. So keep moving. Jeffrey and Adelaide. He would have been excellent. Unfortunately, we've already signed our free agent in Olivier and Cham. He would have been nice, although he's not that great really, is he? Now, as we move through here, I've just spotted a 20-year-old target man, 192 centimetres tall. That's what, 6'3", 6'4"? I'm not very good at the on-the-fly conversion. It's only 66 overall rating at the moment. His finishing could do with improving, but he's got good jump and good header. We're going to need some backup in that target man role. I think he'd be a good option. So I'm going to put a bid in for him. So at the moment, with our 5.6 million, we can just about afford Zagadou, Masuima and Wellington Nem. I think that'd be great. And then we're probably going to need another 1.5 million to sign these two. I don't know where that's going to come from. Guerbert, I don't think there's going to be much of a role for him, and we do need that backup central midfielder. Probably our second best option. Iglesias, is he on the transfer list? Yeah, he is transfer listed. No teams in contact there. Yeah, we're going to struggle to maybe find the money that we need for Saavedra and Mateta if we buy Masuema. Probably Masuema is the one that we don't need, but as you can see, there's already a fair few teams in contact for him, and it's not a surprise really. Although he's not got the best stats yet, he's very strong, and he's only 20 years old, and he's got great stamina. I think he'd be a real presence in the centre of the park, either next to Doulin or as a replacement for Doulin, and Doulin then would be able to go and partner Zagadou in the centre of defence. Let's keep moving. There's nothing we can do now. All the bids are out, and I think we're going to move now into our first home game of the season against Bastia. Having watched back through the tapes of her last game, I think Corinne Diacre will realise that there are a few issues with the formations and the tactics that we're going for, so I'm going to just go and remedy some of them. First of all, defensively, the aggressive pressuring I think really caught us out for the first goal, had the defender rushing out, so we'll stick to conservative. Advanced instructions, what we are going to do here is we're going to make sure, using defensive, that Doulin, who's not really an attacking player, he's pretty much a centre-back. He'll stay back as an auxiliary centre-back as well. What we definitely need to make sure we're doing is using man marking with our left and right back to counter any threats down the wings, because there was a lot of space out there in the last game. We'll stick with counter target and deep defensive line. I think they work. We shut up shop. That is the plan. He's on a downward arrow. We can play Honorat up there. And then, Dougemont as well, our only other attacking player. This is why we do need... I mean, we've got Wellington Nem definitely coming in. If we can sign that extra striker as well, I think that'd be quite important. As you can see, we're also lacking quite seriously in a defensive backup now, so we definitely do need to make those 2 defensive signings. It's going to be very tight. We've already thinned the squad down a lot. It was always going to have to happen. I think Dorie's going to have to play today, even on a downward arrow. As you can see, as I was mentioning, Doolin is actually a 68 rated centre-back, which is better than both Laporte and Fontaine. So we could move him back there if we sign Masuema, who could play alongside Lopi. Although Masuema and Doolin as a defensive midfield duo would be really, really strong. We'll have Zagadou coming in as well. Would it maybe be nice to make these changes, make the new signings before this game, but we need to just make sure we're all okay with the budgets. So as I mentioned, it's going to be key, I feel, in PES 18 to make sure that the marking is happening as it should be. So we'll just get that sorted. I think we will mark the centre forward as well. And then we'll give Doolin the task of just shutting out their attacking midfielder. He doesn't look to be the best attacking midfielder in the world, but still keep him under pressure. Everything else looking good. Bastia, well, they've got strong wingers, that's for sure. So having Fojo and Jalabi track them is going to be important. But their striker doesn't look like anything too impressive. We massively need a win. The home fans today, I'm sure, will be expectant. Let's go. So one thing I've been seeing a lot of on PES Twitter is that people are getting fired. That is happening. Challenge mode is certainly challenging, and Superstar, as we've seen, is a step up this season, I feel. But you can get fired, and it will happen. And we've been tasked by the chairman. Look at that stadium. That's a perfect League 2 stadium, isn't it? That looks really great. Anyway, Ligue 2, sorry. But as I've seen, challenge mode is a challenge. Our chairman wants us to get promoted. If we don't get off to a good start, if we don't start racking up the points now, then that's going to be out the window. And potentially then Corinne will be out of a job. And that's not what we want. Now Olivier Ncham steps inside of his man. Great running there. And he looks to curl it round the corner into Honorat. Not the right ball there with Dory on such poor form. Doolin goes out to Fojo. We need to be using him more because he is quality. But that was not quality. Morange now. Oh, that's great passing. And Fojo, who, although he's marking Cabral, bombed forward in the last attack. And that comes back inside. That's well worked. Great save there from Bernardoni. Still not clear. And that was a big, big interception there from Fontaine. Fojo, no. Caught in possession really poorly there. Doolin can't win that back. Laporte comes across. Misses the tackle. And again, ball in now. Oh, Bernardoni. Keeping us in this one. Dory gets the header on into Honorat. Oh, the tackles are coming in. We are struggling today. And that's half time. And one of the worst halves of PES I've ever played. That was truly awful. Not a single shot on target. And Bastia peppering the goal. Corinne Diacre will be have some stern words, I'm sure, at half time. We need to make those new signings soon. And we need to get Olivier Ncham involved more. Dory is having a bad day. He's on poor form, but we don't have any other options at the moment. We're going to need something more in this second half. Magnetti, good ball. Jalabi, where the fuck are you? You're meant to be marking him. Oh, he gets away from his man. Header is up, not out. Oh, got to win that. Make a tackle, make a tackle. And it's out for a corner. Oh, God. Oh, no. This is not going well. Ball comes in. It's going to be Doolin jumps for it again. Good header away. Edge of the box. Can't get it clear. It's full still to a Bastia player. This is dangerous here. Edge of the box. The shot comes in. Bernardoni gets it. Oh, Bernardoni's having a game of his life and he's needed to. Now Olivier Ncham. We've asked for more from him. That's a neat ball into Dory. Dooley now can slip in. Ferrabori Dory on the right foot. Oh, he's put it wide. No, first chance of the game there for Clermont. And it was well worked. They seem to back off us a little bit. Nice ball into Dory, doing what he should, laying off, and then the ball came in, found him again. Could maybe have taken another touch, but he just poked it wide. One ball out, looking for Ndai. He's found a bit of space. Lovely ball back inside to Lopi. Under pressure, though, he does find Ndai. Great turn there. Now Jalabi. Down the line into the defensive midfielder, Lopi. He's made a good run from the back. Loops it in, looking for Ferrabori. Dory! No way! That had to be it. Lopi back into Olivier Ncham. Strong running there from the young Frenchman, but Mustafi wins it back really easily. Too easily for my liking. Doolin puts a ball in. Benamar's there. Oh, Bernardoni. Oh, that's a nice chip ball into Ncham. He's going to look for Dory, look for the layoff. There it was. And Cham will poke this one over, looking for Dory. He gets ahead of his man, but it just runs through to the keeper. Could be our last and best chance in the game. Well, at least we've got a point on the board, but that's not the ideal start to the season. 2 home games and only 1 point out of it. Didn't manage a shot on target all game. It's not good enough. We need reinforcements. We need them soon. Honorat only getting a 4.5. No one except for Bernardoni, who had the game of his life, managing anything more than a 5.5. That's got to be one of the worst games of PES I've ever played. And that is saying something. So, well, I mean, we're 13th, and that already sees us 5 points behind the 2 teams in the promotion spots. But good to get off the board. Definitely, we need to build up that team spirit. But more importantly, we need the new recruits. We were looking seriously light there, and the problem that we saw, obviously the big problem, is that we didn't have any other options up front other than Ferroboridori. And, Mateta, that's broken down, that's a shame. But Saavedra, that does look like it's going to go through, and the scout has come back with something here as well. Hopefully that's a promising one. We're going to need to make these signings now, aren't we? We can't really mess around any longer. We can't really wait till transfer deadline day. We need to reinforce this squad. Let's see what the scouts got for us. Oh, it's going to be another centre-back. We don't really need another centre-back, unless they're particularly good. He's pretty good. It's very slow. Good header of the ball. He's a big guy. How much do they want for him? 1.6. That'd probably be about 2 million, maybe. Definitely one to add to the list, but we want youth. I think we'd rather go with Zagadou. Mateta would have been great. We need another target man. We might have to go back in for him. Definitely going to have to go back in for him, actually. So, Saavedra, 763,000. Can we get any money off that? Looks like we definitely can. So we can sell Gavori. Definitely want to sell him. No need for him. That takes up to 5.8. We're sneaking up on the amount of money we need to make the signings we want to do. Espinoza as well. Yeah, we'll get rid of you. We've got basically no players now. We need to make the signings. We're going to get almost to the point where we can't make any more signings. So let's go through. Wellington Nem. Welcome. Bonjour et bienvenue, Wellington Nem. And that's 1 million. Obviously, we don't have to pay a salary because he's on loan. Great stuff. That's the left wing, exciting, creative left winger that we needed. He's quick. He's a great dribbler. And he's a pretty decent passer as well, which is key. And he's left-footed, which I love. Now, Zagadou. This is one for the future. I can see this boy being a mainstay in Corinne Diacre's sides throughout her career. I mean, an 18-year-old massive centre-back who's already at Borussia Dortmund. You know they're going to be good long-term. So we'll definitely take a punt on you. Zagadou, welcome, 2.6 million. It's a big signing. Big signing. Not a huge wage, 372,000, but it makes him one of the highest paid at the club. We're going to continue negotiations for Mateta. And we're just going to wait off on these two for a couple of days. So 2 new players in the squad. Really exciting. And they're going to slot in straight away. Zagadou at the back. Who's better at Fontaine and Laporte? I think Fontaine's probably the better player. So Zagadou comes in there. That's great stuff. And then obviously we've got Wellington Nem. Cheeky little left winger. He's going to pop in there. And now we've got a really solid looking front three. Big fan of that front three now. Midfield's looking fine. Doolin and Cham, excellent. Loppy is the one that maybe we want to replace with Masuema. And then with a new left back, the only player we're really struggling with is our second centre back. But, you know, we were never going to be able to replace everyone we wanted. And then the major issue then is we don't have a reserve striker of any sort of note. Or even a reserve winger who could play instead. We've got Diame, I suppose, who could pop out onto the right and then we can play Honorat. But it's not ideal. Let's take a look at the budgets now. We can sell Laporte for 286. We can't sell our second keeper. I need to keep hold of him, unfortunately. No, we can't really sell Laporte either, so we're not going to be able to sell anyone. That leaves us with 2.6. Masuema is a big spend, isn't he? That's a tricky decision. Do need another attacker. And we've already negotiated for Masuema, so I don't think there's going to be anything we can do there. We've already got 230,000 euros off his transfer price. He's an expensive player, but I think he could be a really good long-term option at only 20 years old. So Vidra we want. So a lot of players going in for a lot of teams already going in for him, so we can't really negotiate there, as I feel like that would very quickly go badly. This is tricky now. Now we're getting into difficult territory. We're not really going to be able to sign another striker. I think we're just going to have to go with these two. And we're going to just have to hope that we can do something on transfer deadline day. Oh, we just haven't quite got enough for Saavedra. Should we see if we can just get off? That's all we need to get is that much off him. Let's try that. That would see us come in just under budget. Very close. I don't want to do that. This could go badly. If we lose out on Sevilla, that's going to be disappointing. So as you can see, Team Spirit has 49 now. We've brought in a lot of players. Obviously, that was always going to be an issue doing that. Let's make sure we got the marking all set up. Fojo there. Rouen of playing 5 in midfield. It looks to be keeping things pretty tight there. Maybe we'll find some space for the wingers, maybe not. But Wellington Nem, he's the one I'm really excited to get playing with. So let's get into it. And I'm going to try playing with our really nice white kit. Big fan of that kit. Simple, stylish. Let's do it. Come on, we need a win so badly. So, 3rd game of the season, and this is a must-win. It's our first away game of the season. We're really struggling with team spirit. That is going to be the big issue for Clermont at the moment, especially with all the new signings. Once they start to gel, we could be fine. We're starting 3 new players today. We've got Wellington there, we've got Masawema in the midfield, and then Zagadou at centre-back. We're going to need big debuts from all of them. We've invested a hell of a lot of money. Duhamel, nice back heel into Rogi. And Cham's there, deals with it well. Now Masawema will poke it through for Olivier and Cham. He's got space to run into here. Olivier and Cham will hit this one. Should have done something more with that, Olivier. Come on, that's selfish. Seri here is going to look to flight this one in. Douline with the big header away. Only as far as the Rouen players. Shot comes in, nasty deflection. It's wide though, thank God for that. Seri's there. Zagadou misses the header, but Masawema will clear now. Desperate stuff so far. Really not being able to do anything. Oh, Wellington Nem, great interception. And now the Brazilian will streak forward. Looks to play in Ferroboridori. Where the fuck is Nem? Ball inside looking for Ncham. He got there ahead of his man, surely, and that's a free kick on the edge of the box. Try and lay this one off for Ncham, who's made a run. Olivier Ncham will hit this one into the wall. Trying to keep it alive. That was poor. Should have had a go at the free kick, really, shouldn't I? Do line out to Honorat. He's got time to look up. Whip a ball in. Dory's there with the header. Great save. Oh, Ferroboridori looking for his 2nd goal in the league. And looking for our first in what seems like forever. Still not properly cleared. Edge of the box. It slipped through. Bernardoni again. This guy is keeping us in contention. He's the only thing standing between Clermont and absolute failure and bottom of the league status at the moment, and that was a great ball through, an incredible save, and it needed to be. And it's half time here in Rouen, and more disappointment for Clermont foot fans. The travelling fans won't be pleased with another poor performance. We've had a shot on target at least in this game, which is an improvement. Let's try and get Wellington them a bit more involved, shall we? Masawema, one new signing into another, the young Brazilian. Oh, great turn away from his man there. And he's got the overlapping run of Jalabi. He'll put a near post ball into Dory with the header. Good save. That is near post from the Rouen keeper. Frank Honorat looking for options. Finds Fojo with the overlapping run. Slips it into Olivier and Cham, who's found a bit of space. Low ball in. Wellington. Oh, Wellington, no. No. That was it. That was the goal that we need so badly. This was a nice ball into Ncham, who'd made a great run from the midfield. Low-driven cross. Oh, he's hit it well wide. Good header from Honorat, and it's going to fall to Dory now. Moves it on to Honorat. Little poke ball into Wellington Nem, into the box. Can he make up for it? No, he can't. But it's still alive here. Dulin will dig out a cross. Oh, and it's back to the keeper. 2 big chances there for Wellington. On his debut for Clermont, we needed to make one of them count at least. Dory wins that nicely. Now Ncham will go wide, looking for Honorat. He can poke it back inside, looking for Fojo, who hadn't made the run he expected. And Rouen are straight back at us again. Fontaine with the strong shoulder. Referee says play on. Ncham intercepts well. It's a nice ball out to Honorat. Goes inside to Dory. That's not great, but we somehow managed to get it back. But then the pass is awful. There's just no communication. The fluidity is not there yet until we get that team spirit up. Some of this passing is awful. Fojo, what the hell are you doing? You're marking him. Your man marking him. No, no, no. Unbelievable. Absolutely disgraceful from Fojo there. Your man marking him. What are you doing? Oh. Masawema out to Nem. It's away from his man easily. Will whip a ball in. Doesn't make it over the first man again. Back out to Nem. Can this time he put in the right ball? Dorry's there with the header. Oh, well, finally we get the goal. Wellington Nem given plenty of time and given another go at getting a cross in. And that time, well, he got it on the head of the big striker. And, well, that doesn't really make up for the two massive chances that Wellington missed early on. But at least we're going to come away with another important point here. Whereas it looked like we were going to drop more. That's a great header. That's what we want to see. Ah, well won back by Dooley. Fojo again. You're meant to be one of our best players and he's been the source of all... Oh, you're kidding me! No! No way! I can't believe that. How did he not get that away? It was just... Oh, he's got in possession. And that's what led to the goal. It was a really good finish, though, from the Rouen player. But this is depressing. And that is the end of the game for us, pretty much. Not going to be any last chances here, I don't think. Masawema out to Wellington Nem. He's going to have to try and put another ball into the box. It's there. It's not a good one. And that is going to be full time here in Rouen. And Clermont-Foot, well, it's more points dropped. And so far it's 2 losses and a draw in Corinne Diacre's first 3 games of the season. And that is simply not acceptable. We definitely had a better performance this time. And we managed to get some shots on target. Decent performances from some of the players. Honorat was awful. He's been truly terrible so far. Wellington Nem missed the big chance of the game. That was disappointing. Masawema was okay. Fojo had an absolute nightmare. I don't know how he gets a 6 there. He was terrible. 1 point only from the first 3 games is just not good enough. It's just not good enough at all. 6 points already behind the leaders. We are rapidly putting ourselves out of the race. I don't even want to look at the stats. I do not even want to know how we did this month. And Cham's gone up to 74. That's good at least. And now we're going to move into transfer deadline day with pretty much all of our business already done. Which is good. We do need to try and find another striker if we can. Saavedra's come back. It looks like we will be able to deal with him. At least we'll get a decent left back. Although it looks like Fojo might be our issue at the moment. But we just weren't good enough there. I mean, it's a lot of new signings, which has affected our team spirit. 50 team spirit is pretty poor. Let's go and see if we can afford Saavedra. We should be able to. So yeah, I think we're going to sign the Chilean. That's another South American coming in. And that's pretty much all of our money gone. That leaves us with 15,000 in the transfer cost. So with only 10 hours left in the transfer window and bids in for players that we can't really afford to sell, except for some bids for a couple of players which would get us about 400,000. We're not going to be able to do anything, so we're just going to get on with it. I need to get into the next game. I need to try and get us a win. We need to get off the mark. A win now would see us feeling okay. We need to build up the team spirit, but we need a win more than anything at the moment. So will it be the Coupe de France that sees us get our mojo back, or at least find some mojo? Well, it needs to be really. It's not really a priority for us, but what is a priority is finding some team spirit. So all of our midfielders now are rated 70 or above. That's great. With Saavedra coming in, our team spirit has gone back down from 50 to 48. We were going to have to take these hits to sign the players we wanted. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 new players in this side. It was obviously going to be difficult and it's going to make things very, very hard for us at the beginning of the season. As we've already seen, we're near the bottom of the league. We've just got to hope that we can at least pick up some draws and maybe a sneaky win before the team spirit picks up. Because once it does, I think we'll be okay. But until then, it's going to be desperate stuff. There he is, Saavedra, the young Chilean. He's come in as second South American signing for Corinne Diacre this season. She's gone big in the transfer window. It's going to take a while for these players to gel. She didn't manage to get the business done as early as I'm sure she would have liked. All coming in just before transfer deadline though. So not much time for them to gel. And that has been obvious so far. A run in the cup might make our chairman a little bit happier. But it's not what we need. What we need now is confidence. Nice ball there. And Cham. He's going to look to poke it through into Dorry. He's going to get there ahead of Felipe. Great strength from the centre forward. He'll rasp off a shot. Oh! Chunky Dorry with some firebolt of a shot there. That was beautiful. I don't know what a firebolt is, but I think it's probably even stronger and more brutal than a lightning bolt. Or a thunderbolt. That's what I'm thinking of. What a goal that was. He looked to be second best there. He was being pushed away by the defender who'd got back. But he just swung that tree-like right leg at it. And it was in off the post. What a finish that was. Could that be the goal that takes us out of the slump? Well, I'm not sure. But he did well to get ahead of his man. And he's hit that so well. What a finish that is. He's a striker in decent form. He's actually been putting the goals away. It's Cham who pokes the ball through. Nothing special about that pass, but there was something very special about the finish. Look at that. Beautiful. Keeper at full stretch couldn't even get close to it. Little chip ball out to Wellington Nem's a good one. Saavedra's making the overlapping run. South American to South American down this left-hand side. Lovely poke ball into Nem. He'll take that down really coolly. Low cross into Dory off the post. Oh, that was a great ball. Masawema will keep this alive. And Cham turns, hits it. Oh, keeper couldn't hold it. Wellington Nem putting the pressure on. Good spell of play there from Clement. Strong stuff from Zagadou, wins it back. And that's half-time here in the Coupe de France. And Clermont, well, we're a goal up. We haven't said that in a while. We haven't said that at all. We've actually been playing really well. Hopefully this is the confidence boost that we needed. Dory dropping deep, wins it back nicely. Saavedra now into Wellington Nem. The overlapping run is on. Now Saavedra into the box. He can whip a ball in. The header's in from Doolin. Up from the back. The defensive midfielder grabs our second goal today. And yeah, we're starting to flow a little bit more there. That was lovely work from the South American left-hand side. Saavedra and Wellington Nem linking up. And it was a good run into the box from Saavedra. No one tracking him. And it's a simple little ball up to Doolin, the defensive midfielder, who gets the second goal here for Clermont. And finally, we're starting to click. Triple substitution here as we look to have this one sewn up, which I can't believe we're saying that, seeing as how badly we've been playing recently. But yeah, we're going to rest some legs here. Only 10 minutes to go. It is only the cup, and we really needed this win in the league, but still, better than nothing. Wellington Nem now. He's just stepped back into the attacking midfield position. Honorat puts it in, looking for Dougemont. Second half substitute. Fojo now will poke it in, looking for Frank. Honorat takes it out the air, and Frankie boy is off the mark for the season. He's been having some... Oh, you're kidding me. You just can't do anything right, Frank. Easy take for Nem. And then Dai can push it through to Honorat. Could this be the goal? No, it won't be, but Dai can hit it. And there we go, that's 3. And the substitute and Dai comes on. And yeah, that's the third goal to seal it here. And we're through to the next round of the cup. But really, it's hopefully the team spirit that could be the biggest win from this one. That's what we needed. And there we are, 3-0 in the cup. Well, we needed a win in the league, didn't we? Doesn't really matter about the cup. That's not what's going to keep Corinne's job for her. But hey, we needed the confidence more than anything. And it was Dory, obviously, with the goal. The incredible goal to start off with. But decent performances all round. Particularly good debut from the new left-back Saavedra, who set up the second goal. And decent performances from the midfield in general. So I'm a little bit more positive now. So there we have it. Well, it was not a great episode, was it? Oh, hello. That's a slight silver lining to what has been a really horrible thundercloud of an episode. Zagadou looks like he's going to be having a dramatic improvement, which we definitely needed. Let's take a quick look at the team status. Still at 45% owner trust. That's not too bad. We need to keep that up. Team spirit only 50. That needs to improve a lot. Got to stay positive here, although we are 18th in the league on only 1 point. It's still very early in the season, and things will pick up, I'm sure of it. I'll see you in a bit.